Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica Flynn and I am the owner and maker of Flynn Sisters Boutique. And today I'm going to show you how I created this nude fawn print. I am obsessed with this fawn print. I've been seeing this all over in like home decor trends. I love it on throw pillows and I just thought it would look beautiful on a tumbler. And I think this is a design that'll look great in winter or spring. Mainly winter though. I feel I'm getting very much winter vibes from this, but it's beautiful all year round. You're gonna find all the products that you see in this video listed and linked down below in the description box. You might even find some discount codes for you there as well. So that's enough chit chat for me. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, you guys, so as usual, we're starting with a fully prepped and sanded cup. I'm using a 30-ounce traditional tumbler from Craft Haven today, and I've already spray painted my first layer of paint, and I'm working now on the second. You want to let it dry in between layers. I'm using Rustic Pink from Rustoleum. It's one of my favorite colors from Rustoleum. It's like this beautiful blush nude color. And we're just doing short, quick bursts of spray paint. You don't want any pooling. You want to make sure that you actually shake your can for a full 60 seconds before you spray paint the cup. Once that nude paint dries, I'm going to spray paint a vertical line down the center of both sides of my cup using this antique white. It's like a cream spray paint from Rustoleum. I will link it down below in the description box, but it's just the perfect shade of like off-white, and it's absolutely perfect for this design. So we're just going to do one vertical stripe on both sides like so. Try and get some blending. If you have to go back with your Rustic Pink to kind of spray, fix the overspray on your white, you can do that. But the goal here is to have 4 even sections of color with the white and the nude. All right, and now that my paint is totally dry, I'm ready to start hand painting my fawn spots. Now, I have a picture up on my computer for reference. If you just search blush fawn print, you'll find a bunch of different options to choose from, and just try to find a picture that really speaks to you and kind of gives you a good idea for how to place your spots. Here's a pillow that I found, and if you'll notice on the screen here, there's a larger concentration of the white spots here through the colored sections, and then it kind of, fades out once it gets into the lighter painted sections. So we're going to try and emulate that on our cup with our painting. All right, and so for our spots, I'm going to be using an Arteza acrylic paint marker. These are some of my favorite acrylic paint markers, and you're just going to want to shake it up really good and then kind of blot it against a piece of paper a little bit to get it going. Make sure you've got plenty of paint in your tip before you get started. Okay, and again, referencing the picture that I'm looking at on my computer, we're going to start in one straight line down the darkest colored section. Okay, so we're going to start right through here, and I'm just going to freehand those kind of funky dot shapes. You'll notice that there's no real kind of linear pattern. It's just sort of random, and the size of the spots varies as well. So kind of just really letting go of your perfectionism. We want to just take this on. Now here you can see how I did a really thick concentration in this first line right down the center of this nude section, and then I started to kind of space them out more as I moved into this cream colored section. You can still see the white in that cream section, and that's really what we want. So I'm going to continue with that same pattern down the center of this nude section on the other side. And really, again, this is just a matter of painting in little white funky shaped dots. If you're not getting good coverage from your white paint on the first pass, you'll just want to go over your spots again. So I'm just going to continue through until we get done here. I can imagine this might be a little bit of a lengthy process, but I can assure you it's going to be worth it. All right, and then once we were done painting our spots, I just epoxied right over the paint. You do not need to seal the paint before you epoxy over it. And I'm really sorry, guys, but I forgot to film the part where I epoxied over the paint. I did mix glitter into my epoxy. I used Brite from PT Olive Glitters. You guys have seen me mix epoxy and glitter in this way so many times before. I will link a video down below if you want to see the actual process, but mainly what we did was I mixed up 30 milliliters of epoxy and I added probably less than half a teaspoon of glitter to my epoxy and then spread it all over the cup as usual. I did let that epoxy dry for about 8 to 12 hours before we moved on to our sanding. There's not much sanding that needs to be done because we applied the glitter into the epoxy like that. It should be fairly smooth, but I do want to go around this bottom rim a little bit. Now be careful because we only have one layer of epoxy at this point. If you're not confident with your sanding, I would not sand at this step. I would wait until the second layer because you don't want to sand down too far. Hence why I'm using a really fine grit 220 sanding block, okay? And I'm just really lightly going down around that bottom rim to knock off any kind of sharp pieces that might have come up from that glitter or anything weird. But again, just be careful. I actually ended up sanding down too far while I was filming this video, so I'll show you how to fix that here in a second. You also want to make sure that you sand up around that top rim how we normally do. You want to expose a fine line of stainless steel up there around the top of your tumbler. That fine line of stainless steel that we expose there is where our final layers of epoxy will adhere to create the final seal for our cup. After my sanding, I'm just going to take this in and rinse it off before we move on to our next steps. So after I've washed off my cup and I've dried it off really well, I want to show you guys how I fixed my boo-boo down there at the bottom rim where I sanded down too far. I took a little bit of that rustic pink spray paint and I spray painted a little bit of it right onto the cap of the spray paint. So I have a little pool of paint there and I've got a really tiny paintbrush and I'm just going to fill in that spot where I sanded down a little bit too far. This fix isn't always practical for every design, but it worked just fine for something simple like this. As soon as I was done with that, I was ready to apply my decal. I've already cut my decal using a rose gold chrome metallic adhesive vinyl, and I thought my logo would look really pretty on this. So I'm just applying that in the center of our cream colored section using the hinge method like I always do. And then once we've got our decal on there, we are ready for our final coats of epoxy. Before I apply my final coat though, I do want to seal in my decal because that chrome metallic vinyl tends to kind of come up under epoxy sometimes. So I'm going to use Counterculture DIY's Quick Coat water-based urethane sealer. You can find this at counterculturediy.com. And again, that's Quick Coat sealer. So if you go to counterculturediy.com and you search their website for Quick Coat, you'll find it right away. And this is just a very quick drying water-based urethane sealer that's going to seal in our vinyl. It's also going to seal any kind of contaminants that might be on the surface of our cup before we apply our final layers of epoxy. This saves me a lot of time because I always get better results with my final layers anytime I coat the cup with this stuff first before moving in to those final coats. After I apply this stuff, I am just going to let it roll on the turner for about 30 to 45 minutes before we apply our epoxy. Right, now that that's dry, I'm ready to put on my final coats of epoxy. I've got 20 milliliters of Amazing Clear Cast Plus, and it's already mixed. I'm just going to apply it like I normally would. The Amazing Clear Cast Plus has enhanced UV stabilizers in it, so it's going to protect my cup from yellowing in the sun and light exposure for a really long time. I absolutely love using this stuff as a final coat for lighter colored cups because it's going to keep those colors bright, white, and vibrant for many years to come. I'll have a link down below on where you can find this epoxy. It does take longer longer to dry, but since we're only using it on the final coat, it's not that much of an issue for me, and the results are just so beautiful. It's so easy to get a beautiful and smooth coat with this product. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I absolutely love this design and I can't wait to see your guys' take on it. And if you liked our video, please be sure to give us a big thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. I do upload videos every Wednesday and Saturday. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you again soon. And a big thank you to all of our Flynn Sisters exclusive members. Thank you for your pledge. Your support means the world to our channel. If you love this video, you could check out our last video here. Also be sure to find us on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and of course subscribe for all our new videos that come out every Wednesday and Saturday. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.